Yeah. Yes, sir, ski. All right, what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? We are back for another video. Just gonna take you guys on a little trip with me. I'm just cruising around. Since the weather was a lot better today, figure I'd just go on a little ride, you know what I'm saying? That's what it be like sometimes when you be riding around in the fall, winter. I mean, technically we're not even in winter yet, and the weather has just been crazy. Close that helmet, give you guys some. I don't even know if my other vents are closed, but I hope everybody's been doing good during this holiday season. I've been doing absolutely fantastic. Haven't been able to ride much just because the weather has just been so freaking cold, and when it's not cold, it's raining or something goofy. This is not riding weather. Well, not riding season anywhere really, but mainly in North Carolina and places along the coast that experience a lot of bro, you didn't even have your turning signal. Don't experience a lot of cold weather. It's just not fun. I realized quickly I'm not a cold weather biker. It's something I don't enjoy doing at all. Like, that's not fun. Highly recommend no one else does it. It's just not something that it's just something I didn't really consider. Honestly, being a new motorcyclist, I thought, oh, I can just ride all season, no problem. Nope, not here. This is not for the faint of heart, for sure. What are these people doing up here? They're always doing some kind of construction over here. All this goofy work. Just be doing a bunch of goofy stuff. But yeah, guys, take you on a little ride with me. Decided to shoot some content today. Today I wanted to focus on some of the things that I've done to the bike. I don't know much about motorcycles. This is my first bike, so I'm really just I'm a super newbie, as I've always mentioned in all my videos, because I am, guys. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'm still learning, still trying to figure it all out. But yeah, today I want to do a walk around of the bike that I own, which is the Suzuki GSX-8S. I really think, based off of my experience, it's been a wonderful bike to learn to ride. I have nothing to compare it to, so I can't really say if it's a beginner friendly bike or not, because I don't know. That's not what my opinion is. Is it beginner friendly for me? Absolutely. It's been amazing. I've enjoyed learning to ride a motorcycle on this bike, for sure, especially with all the features that it has. And from what the internet says, I think the internet agrees as well. Like, this bike is a great learning bike. Well, let's preface that, because that's subjective too, because a lot of people, I guess not a lot, let me rephrase that as well. Most people would say that you know, anything with a higher cc engine would probably not be ideal for a beginner, but I think this bike does a good job with balancing that power and torque that doesn't give you anything crazy. And it has modes which allows you to select how much power you want to feel on the bike. I believe this bike specifically has an A, B, and C mode, as well as a 1, 2, 3 traction control. As you can see on the screen, I'm in mode A. When I first got the bike, I started off in mode C, just because I didn't want to feel all that torque. I didn't know what to expect, and based off of what I was reading or watching the reviews on the internet, and most people suggested that new riders keep it on C mode until they felt comfortable, and that's exactly what I did. I kept it right on C until I felt overall comfortable with the bike, and I didn't really make any adjustments from there. I never went to mode B. After I felt somewhat comfortable on the bike, I immediately went to mode A. And I feel like mode B was irrelevant, and most people didn't really need it. I felt like I didn't need it for sure, so that's why I didn't choose it. But yeah, I have been enjoying this bike. As I mentioned, it's been absolutely a blast riding. I don't find it difficult. I'm about 5'9", 5'10", so my feet are planted on the floor just fine. I don't struggle with balance or anything like that, and that's one of the things that most people would suggest when you're fitting for a bike. Make sure your feet can touch the daggone floor. You don't want to be them idiots that on a bike that's just too big and they gotta tippy toe their way in and out of situations. Ain't nobody got time for that, guys. That's just not safe, not fun. One of my good friends had an Evo, or had a KTM Evo, and he struggled with that. He's a little bit shorter than me, probably about an inch shorter than me, so I'd say about 5'8", 5'9", and it was a big boy bike. He complained about having to be on his tippy toes a lot, so I would suggest not doing that, just because it's not fun. I personally haven't experienced it. I haven't sat on a bike that was just too big for me. I haven't tried to. This bike and a bobber were the two bikes I was considering. I didn't know what kind of rider I was going to be at the time when I was looking for a bike, so the bobber was one that I was considering, but I ultimately didn't go with it, and I'm glad I didn't go with it. I'm glad I went with the Suzuki GSX-8S. I think it delivers more than enough power. I said more than enough. More than enough power for my needs. I do experience a little bit of what my best friend calls is I don't know what he calls it, but I experienced this when riding. How can I explain it? When I'm riding, I feel like the bike isn't essentially doing what I want it to do. It doesn't go as fast as I want it to go, and I think it's just me learning as a rider my desires and my engine needs, and I think that's a good thing. I think everybody that gets on a bike and starts to learn how to ride a bike eventually gets to a point where they want something that matches what their expectations are when they pull on the throttle. And the only way I can explain it is whenever I'm riding and I want to go fast, I'm expecting the throttle delivery or the response to be maybe a little bit more snappier. It's just not what I expect when I give a throttle pull. I don't know how to explain it, but I would imagine getting on a bike that's a little bit more torqueier, a little bit more powerful would probably exceed my expectations, but also at the same time meet them as well. So I'm not looking to upgrade my bike. I've thought about that, but you know, a good friend of mine, not my good friend, my best friend told me, who's been riding motorcycles for over 10 years, he said to tune my bike before I do anything. You know, put an exhaust on it, tune it, get the ECU flashed, just to unlock and unleash the power that the current bike that I own has the ability, or its full capabilities. Because as most motorcyclists know, from the factory, your bike is limited to its throttle response. It's only utilizing about anywhere from 60 to 70%, and that's per gear. Each gear has its own limit of its throttle response that it can give you. So you know, he made a good point. He made valid points that I should definitely get my bike tuned so I can get it get it to where an idea of what I'm expecting to happen versus what is actually happening when I pull on the throttle. So that's what I'm gonna do. You know, even if I wasn't gonna do that, I still wasn't going to completely just trade my bike in, because I'm actually still learning and I'm still having fun with everything that this bike offers. So that's what I'll say to that. But today, let's talk about today. Today is just a beautiful day. It really is. It's 55 degrees outside. We've been hovering in the 30s, 30 and 40s here in NC, which is not ideal for me. I met a group of guys that said that they ride all year round. Not me. Not when it gets that cold. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if they were riding that day, but I'm assuming they meant what they said. They probably were riding on that day as well. So not me. It's just not my ideal situation. This is my little place I like to come and get some shots and stuff. I love this little area. But I'm gonna get set up and I'll come back to you guys and give you guys a walk around and talk about the bike. So yeah, be on the lookout for that.
All right, so guys, this is the bike, my GSS. I never get that right. A GSX-8S. It's throwing my color off, man. I don't know why that color looks like that. It's more like I call it a sexy blue. But so what have I done to this bike, man? As a new rider, I haven't done anything crazy. I got rid of the bunny ears. Those were like the very first things that I could not stand. I could not stand the way that those look and how they just stuck out. They stuck out in front of the bike. I went with bar ends. I think these are Kenny Motos, so I'll go ahead and put them in the description. Absolutely love these side mirrors. They were very replicable. They were very similar to the size of the mirrors that I originally had, my OEM factories, and I loved that I could just throw them on the bar ends of the handlebars. I did have to get a screw specifically for these. I'll link everything that I had to get to make these work in the description. I actually also had to bore out some of the ring material inside the handle. Not the handle of the bike, but the arm of the bar end mirror. That was a process. So I'm pretty sure now you could find some that fit perfectly, but yeah, they worked out for what I wanted. I put a little snake decal, "Don't tread on me." It is something that I am very passionate about outside of motorcycling. I do love my firearms and I do support my Second Amendment, so that is a symbol for me and for other people who are aware of it. But that's just a decal I threw on there. I did remove all of the 8S stickers that were on there. I'm not a big decal person, so I didn't want those specific decals on this bike just because I didn't like the way it looked. It looked kind of cheesy to me, these giant numeric patterns. Jumping to the next thing, since we're in the front, I'll do the 2-3 things. I did shorty levers. The OEMs were just way too long and they stuck out and they would bump my bar end mirrors, so it wasn't an option really. I had to get rid of those things just to make it more aesthetically pleasing and function for my handlebars. I did both the clutch and brake. Very simple. I went with these MZS's. I didn't do TSTs because they were so freaking expensive, bro. I try to keep everything within budget. These were reasonably priced. I believe I paid $40 for these. I think the TST industry ones are about $130. So I saved money there. I did go with a windscreen. This is supposed to be a Puig kind of copy. I'll put this in the description as well. The Puig one was about $149, I believe. This one I got off Amazon for around $64. I thought this was a great deal. Went on easy. It goes on just like the Puig windscreen, honestly, and I think it makes the bike look more aesthetically pleasing. The transition is very nice. So no complaints here. Functionality wise, I think it functions great. Just like I would assume the Puig one does, made out of the same kind of material. I'll put the link in the description as well. That's just a GoPro mount for my handlebars. Of course, I have the quad lock and the dampener. I don't think the dampener works very well. If you're getting it so you don't gyrate or it doesn't vibrate for your video, if you're ever doing video, it's not gonna work. But I do think it stabilizes the components inside of the camera. Me and my boy, we talked about that. We had a brief conversation about it. I can understand why you wouldn't want your phone camera gyrating around because of the vibration from the handlebar. But yeah, so I got that with that. That's just my phone. All right, moving on to the sides. I did who is calling me? Stop it. I can't get to you, I'm making a video. I did grip pads for my tank. I got them there, and you can't see the other one because my big ass helmet is in the way. Let's go this side. But these are great. I haven't had any problem. I didn't like that it had GSX in white. I thought that was kind of stupid. So I took nail polish and I kind of painted over that GSX-8S symbol. I'm just not a big badging person, so I didn't like the badging look. But I have the other tank piece on my helmet. I mean, where my helmet is. I guess I can move it, but I don't want to. This is my helmet. It's not a part of the bike, but this is the helmet of choice I went with. It's the AGV K6S. Extremely lightweight. Love this helmet. Have no complaints with that, but that's not a part of the bike build. I do have a tank bag on my bike. It's made by Rhino Walk. I don't know if y'all can see that. But yeah, I have a tank bag on my bike. It's essential for me because when I'm riding, I want to be able to put gear and things I need and have it accessible to me without it being in the front of my seating position. So I do like the aesthetics I get from this tank bag. And I'll move the helmet here in a second so you can see it. I did swap out my tail tidy for something cleaner and aesthetic. This also came from Amazon. These are the OEM lights, turn signals. So they just attach right on to the bike or to the arms of the mount. I don't know if I guess I could show you that. I could probably show y'all this later too. But they literally attach right on there. And the wires and cables run in the back and down. I do have an air tag built in here too. I bought a air tag off of Amazon, or not an air tag. I bought an air tag casing off of Amazon, which I put the air tag inside of that casing and then stuck it. I popped these off and stuck it behind there. Last but not least are my what are those things called? Last and not least are my frames. Last and not least are my frame sliders. These I got from Amazon as well. I didn't go with the TST ones, but they look similar to them. But highly functional. I have dropped this bike and it has saved my engine and other components. When I first got the bike, side story, I've told this story before, that's the left side. When I first got the bike, I didn't have these on. And I bent my clutch lever and scratched my engine casing on this side, as you can see. So literally the next day, I ordered frame sliders, and I have dropped my bike a couple times since then. Haven't had any issues ever since. That's a quick look at my bike. I'm gonna pause it and move my helmet so you can get the full aesthetic of it, and I'll do a walk around. All right, so that's what it looks like with the tank bag closed when I'm riding, minus my helmet. But not bad. Overall, I think this is a terrific build for me. It's functional, it works very well, and I love this bike. Especially love it with the tank bag. Man, that color is way off. But it could be my my settings too. So I'll work on that. But yeah, it's a nice little setup. I love this bike. Really good experience with it so far. But yeah, I'm just gonna get back on the road and continue riding, and I'll talk to y'all in a bit. Hope y'all enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah. So, guys, let me know what you think about the bike and the build. I'm gonna continue riding, and I will see you guys on the road, all right?
Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed my brief description of my GSX 8S. I've been enjoying this bike, like I mentioned. I've done a couple of things to it, as you can tell. The last thing I really need to do is an exhaust, and of course a tune. I do plan on getting the bike tuned, which entails the mapping of the computer after I get the exhaust, so I retain all of my modes and unlocked features of my throttle response. So just to get more gain, I'm looking to gain about 10 horsepower on top of the 70 horsepower where it's at, and other things. More Mafia did a wonderful review and video on this bike, specifically on some of the gains and the potentials of flashing the ECU or map or tuning the bike, essentially. I'm in North Carolina, he's in South Carolina, so I may consider taking it over there and putting it on the dyno as well. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying what this bike has to offer. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the like button if you like the content and you want to see more videos and more content regarding the GSX-8S. The videos I've seen, really, I don't think really a lot of people are talking about this bike, or aren't talking about it anymore, just because it's you know, it's been out for a couple years now. I think 2023, or I want to say 2023 was the first model. This is a 2025. They do have the 2026s out as well, so just something to consider if you're liking this bike, or if you're new to motorcycling and you want to get into motorcycling and you're wondering if this bike is over delivering or under delivering. I definitely, in my opinion, it's right in the middle. I think it's a perfect beginner bike just because of the ride modes that it has. Some of the basic things comes with a quick shifter, downshift and up and down. You don't get Brembo brakes or anything like that, but as a new motorcyclist, you don't know anything about that. So it's a wonderful bike. I love this bike. Do I think it's a beginner ready bike? Absolutely. 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 I would recommend this bike over any older, lower cc bikes for sure. Just because you get the reliability of this bike, as well as the power and the torque. Yeah, so that's all I got, guys. I hope you enjoyed this content and this video, and be on the lookout for more. Like always, ride safe, ride strong, ride along.